Hi there. As part of our studies of marketing, we need to understand the difference between niche and mass markets. So here's a short explanation of the difference between the two, and we'll take as an example one of my favourite products, the humble potato crisp. As we know, you can just about buy a pack of crisps, in particular Walker's crisps, anywhere. Garages, supermarkets, newsagents, you name it, you'll find Walker's crisps in just about every outlet. And they're a great example of a mass market product. Walker's has over 55% of the market for crisps in the UK. It's owned by a very large multinational called Pepsi. And whilst it's got a wide product range of different flavours, essentially you're buying Walker's crisps. You know exactly what you're getting. However, there are also quite a large number of smaller crisp operators who try to operate in a niche segment. For example, O'Donnell's here, who have a range of gluten-free crisps, traditionally hand-cooked as well. And you won't find them in anywhere near as many outlets. You'll find them maybe in one or two selected supermarkets, some delicatessens possibly, but nowhere near the same kind of distribution that the mass market leader Walker's has. And that's quite a nice illustration, therefore, of the difference between niche and mass markets. Let's start with the mass. The mass market is the biggest part of the market, where there may be many similar products offered by a number of competitors. The market may be dominated, as it is in crisps, by one large producer, or possibly dominated by two or three. But the key thing here, it's the biggest part of the market, and customer needs are less specific. Customer needs and wants are less specific. Contrast that with a niche market. Of the overall market, a niche or a niche market segment is a smaller part, a smaller segment of a larger market. And the reason why it's smaller is that customers, there are fewer of them, but they have more specific needs and wants. In this case with crisps, gluten-free. So what can we say about a mass market? What are the implications of targeting, trying to operate in a mass market? Well, because it's the biggest part of the market, and because you're dealing with customers who have relatively fewer specific needs and wants, you can afford to make your products less specific, and you can afford to go for high production output. So the key in success in mass markets is to have low unit costs and exploit economies of scale, reducing unit costs. And even better, if you can align that also with having a brand and a name that is ubiquitous, the chances are that you create a very strong competitive position, because you're serving the biggest part of the market with a brand, a product that most consumers recognise and value and demand. So, McDonald's is one example. There are lots of other examples of ubiquitous mass market products, mass market brands that have captured a significant share of the largest part of the market, from Gillette razors to Heinz beans and cornflakes. So, to be successful with mass marketing, what do you need? Well, because it's the largest market, you clearly need to be able to target the widest possible customer base. If you can, the rewards are huge, because your sales should be significant too. In theory, successfully targeting a mass market is lower risk. You're putting all your resources focused onto a large market that has the biggest possibility of making returns for you. And if, as we've said, you can achieve those economies of scale and reduce your unit costs, you should be able to target a mass market profitably. Why then? Why would a business target a niche? Well, mainly because in a niche market, the potential for higher profit margins and the potential for differentiation of your product and service is greater. Why? Well, because we've said that in a niche market segment, customers have more specific needs and wants. Therefore, they're probably looking for a more differentiated product. If a business has specialist skills, specialist knowledge, is able to differentiate its products from the mass market offerings, then it may be able to charge a higher price and earn a higher profit margin, albeit to customers who are smaller in number than in the mass market. But do it well and you may benefit from more loyal customers. Clearly, the drawback of targeting a niche is that you're less likely to gain from economies of scale, simply because the output you'll be operating at isn't sufficient to get unit costs down low. However, You might argue that by targeting a niche and succeeding in a niche, you're less likely to attract competition. There we go. That's just an overview of the concepts of niche and mass markets.